Tessa stands in a dress that costs more than her car, clutching a bouquet of white roses that are already starting to wilt under the heat of 1,000 stares. Deep in her gut, she knows with the sick, sinking certainty of a prey animal caught in a trap that something is wrong. The music swells, the deep vibrating hum of the organ pipes shaking the floorboards beneath her heels. Chapter 1. This is supposed to be the happiest day of her life. That's what her father told her. That's what the pack elders told her. "You're lucky, Tessa," they'd said. "Liam is the future alpha. He chose you." But Liam isn't looking at her. He stands at the end of the aisle looking dashing in his tuxedo, his sandy blonde hair perfectly styled, but his eyes are fixed on a spot over Tessa's left shoulder. She takes a step. Her father, Alpha Miller, grips her arm. His fingers dig into her bicep, not in a comforting way, but in a warning way. "Smile, Tessa," he hisses through his teeth. "Stop shaking. You're embarrassing the bloodline." Tessa forces her lips up into a brittle smile. She tries to breathe, but the air in the church is thick, suffocating. It smells of wolf, musk, expensive cologne, and something else. Pity. Why do they smell like pity? She reaches the altar. Her father practically shoves her toward Liam. She stumbles, catching herself on the wooden railing. She looks up into Liam's eyes, expecting to see love, expecting to see the warmth he showed her when they were teenagers, before the weight of the alpha title settled on his shoulders. Instead, she sees ice. "Dearly beloved," the elder begins, his voice droning on about duty and lineage. Tessa reaches for Liam's hand. His skin is clammy, cold. He pulls it away. The movement is small, subtle, but in the silence of the church, it feels like a slap across the face. The elder stops speaking. The silence stretches, tight as a bowstring. "Liam," she whispers. Liam takes a deep, shuddering breath. He straightens his jacket. He looks out at the crowd, at the hundreds of shifters from their pack and the neighboring alliances. Then he looks at her sister, Chloe. She's standing in the front row as the maid of honor. She looks radiant. She's wearing a dress that is technically appropriate, but tight enough to show every curve. She's crying, but they aren't sad tears. She's looking at Liam like he's the sun, and she is a flower desperate to open. "I can't do this," Liam says. His voice is amplified by the microphone clipped to his lapel. It booms through the hall, echoing off the stone walls. Tessa's heart stops beating. "What?" she asks, her voice barely a squeak. "I can't marry you, Tessa," Liam says, louder this time. He turns to her, and for the first time, he looks her in the eye. There is no regret in his gaze. There is only relief. "I can't marry you because the moon goddess has finally blessed me." He steps past her. He walks down the 3 steps of the altar, leaving her standing there alone. The crowd gasps. Her father freezes beside her. Liam walks straight to Chloe. He takes her hands. "It happened this morning," Liam announces to the room, his voice trembling with joy. "When I saw Chloe, I knew. The scent hit me. The bond snapped into place." He looks back at Tessa, pity swimming in his eyes. Tessa is a fine wolf, a good friend, but Chloe... He pulls her sister into his arms. "Chloe is my true mate." The silence that follows is deafening. It is a vacuum that sucks the air out of her lungs. True mate. The rarest bond. The trump card. In shifter law, a true mate bond overrides everything. Engagements, marriages, political alliances, even common decency. If he found his true mate, he physically cannot be with her. His wolf would reject her. But he didn't have to do it now. He didn't have to wait until she was in the dress, at the altar, in front of everyone she knew. Chloe lets out a sob of joy and throws her arms around him. "Oh, Liam, I felt it too. I didn't want to say anything because of Tessa, but I felt it." They kiss. At her wedding. In front of her father. In front of the pack that she has served her entire life. Chapter 2. Tessa stands there, a statue in white lace. She feels the blood draining from her face, leaving her cold and dizzy. She waits for her father to step in, to yell, to demand some dignity for his eldest daughter. She looks at her father. He isn't looking at her. He's looking at Liam and Chloe, and he's smiling. A shark-like, calculating smile. A true mate bond, he bellows, clapping his hands together. A blessing. The moon goddess blesses the Miller pack today. He doesn't care. The realization hits her harder than the rejection. He doesn't care that she is standing there, hollowed out and humiliated. As long as his bloodline gets the alpha position, it doesn't matter which daughter provides it. Chloe is prettier. Chloe is more obedient. Chloe didn't go to college and get ideas about running the business like Tessa did. She is the better option. Laughter starts. It begins in the back pews, a low rumble that ripples forward. Poor Tessa, someone whispers, not quietly enough. Always the second choice. She's too bookish anyway. Another voice sneers. An alpha needs a real Luna, not a glorified accountant. Tessa takes a step back, then another. Her heel catches on the hem of her dress and she stumbles. No one moves to help her. Liam and Chloe are glowing, literally glowing with the bond, wrapped in their own little world. They have forgotten she exists. She turns around. She sees the sea of faces, people she grew up with, people she tutored, people she helped do their taxes, and they are all either laughing or looking away in embarrassment. She has to get out. She hikes up her heavy skirts, grabbing the silk in fistfuls. Tessa, wait, her mother calls out weakly from the front row, but her father silences her with a sharp gesture. Let her go. She's of no use to us now. Let her run. The tears finally spill over, hot and blinding. She turns and sprints down the aisle. The laughter follows her, chasing her like a pack of hunting dogs. She hits the heavy oak doors at the back of the church and bursts into the vestibule. She can't breathe. Her corset feels like it's crushing her ribs. She just needs air. She needs to run until her legs give out. She needs to disappear. She spins toward the exit, her heels slipping on the polished marble floor. She loses her balance. She's going to fall. She braces herself for the impact, but she doesn't hit the floor. She crashes into a wall. Not a wall, a chest. A chest as hard as granite, clad in a black suit that costs more than her father's entire house. Strong hands grab her shoulders to steady her. They are large, warm, and electric. A jolt of static shocks her skin through the lace of her dress. She gasps, looking up, and up, and up. The man standing in the doorway is massive. He fills the frame, blocking out the sunlight. He has hair as black as a raven's wing, swept back from a face that looks like it was carved from marble by a sculptor with a grudge. His jaw is sharp enough to cut glass, but it's his eyes that freeze the blood in her veins. His eyes are a storm, gray, swirling with distinct flecks of violet. Violet eyes. There's only one alpha in the continent with violet eyes. Roman Pierce, the alpha king of the Onyx territory, the rival pack, the man her father calls the Butcher, the man they say killed his own brother to take the throne, the man who runs his business empire like a warlord. He shouldn't be here. He wasn't invited. He is the enemy. Chapter 3. Tessa tries to pull away, panic flaring in her chest, but his grip tightens. Not painful, but unbreakable. Careful, he rumbles. His voice is deep, like tectonic plates shifting deep underground. It vibrates in her chest bone. He looks down at her. He looks at the tears streaking her makeup. He looks at the white dress, the ruined bouquet she's still clutching. Then, he looks over her head, through the open doors, at the scene unfolding at the altar. Liam kissing Chloe. Roman Pierce's lip curls, a sneer of absolute, unadulterated disgust. Pathetic, he says. Tessa flinches. Please, she whispers, her voice cracking. Let me go. I just want to leave. Leave? Roman looks back at her. His gaze feels heavy, physical. He scans her from her messy hair down to her trembling hands. You want to run into the woods in a wedding dress? You'll freeze, little wolf. Or worse. Inside the church, the music has stopped. The murmurs have turned into gasps. They have noticed him. It's Pierce, someone shouts, fear spiking the air. The Butcher is here. Her father comes storming down the aisle, Liam trailing behind him like a puppy. Pierce! Alpha Miller roars, his face turning red. You dare enter my territory on my daughter's wedding day? Roman doesn't even blink. He doesn't release her. In fact, he pulls her slightly behind him, shielding her with his massive body. Wedding? Roman's voice carries without him even raising it. It cuts through the room like a blade. I see no wedding, Miller. I see a circus, and I see a man who just threw away a diamond to pick up a piece of broken glass. A collective gasp echoes through the church. Chloe turns red, clutching Liam's arm. Liam growls, his eyes flashing yellow. Watch your tongue, Liam snaps, trying to sound authoritative. Chloe is my true mate. Tessa understands. Does she? Roman asks. He turns his head slightly, looking down at her. Do you understand, Tessa? She looks at Liam, the man she loved since she was 16, the man who promised her forever, who just discarded her like trash in front of everyone she knows. Something inside her snaps. No, she says, her voice finding a sudden, sharp edge. I don't. Her father steps forward, furious. Get out, Pierce. This is family business. Tessa, get back in line. In line? Roman laughs. It's a dark, terrifying sound. You treat your blood like cattle, Miller, and you... He points a gloved finger at Liam. You are a fool. You think a fated bond makes you strong? It makes you weak. It makes you predictable. Why are you here? Tessa asks, tugging on his sleeve. Everyone is staring. She just wants this to end. Roman looks down at her. The harshness in his eyes softens, just a fraction. I came to negotiate a border treaty with your father, he says calmly. But I think I've found something more interesting to negotiate for. He turns to the crowd. He raises his voice. You all stand there and laugh at her. You mock her because she was rejected by a boy who doesn't know the value of loyalty. He steps closer to her. He lowers his head until his lips are inches from her ear. They think you are nothing, he whispers. But I smell your power, Tessa. I smell the storm in you. He straightens up and offers her his hand. It is a large, calloused, open palm. So, here is the offer, Roman says, loud enough for the gods to hear. You can stay here. You can watch your sister marry your fiancé. You can be the pitied spinster aunt who lives in the attic and balances the books. He pauses, letting the words hang in the air. Or, he says, his violet eyes burning into hers, you can take my hand, you can leave with me, and you can show every single one of these idiots exactly what they lost. He looks at Liam, his lip curling into a smirk. Why cry over a beta when you can leave with a king? Chapter 4. The church goes silent. Even the wind outside seems to stop. Her father laughs, a nervous, barking sound. She won't go with you. She's a Miller. She knows her duty. She knows her place. Tessa, Liam says, stepping forward, his hand outstretched. Don't be crazy. He's a monster. Just go to the back room, calm down, and we'll figure out your living arrangements later. Living arrangements. Like she's a piece of furniture to be moved into storage. She looks at Liam, the boy she thought she knew. She looks at her father, who is already calculating how to spin this, how to use her humiliation to his advantage. She looks at Chloe, who is clutching Liam's arm, looking at her with triumph, waiting for her to disappear so her happy ending can begin. Then, she looks at Roman. He is dangerous. He is lethal. He is the enemy. His reputation is written in blood. But he is the only person in this room, the only person in her life, who is looking at her like she matters, like she has a choice. Tessa takes a deep breath. She reaches out. Her hand trembles, but she places it in his. His fingers close around hers instantly. Warm, solid, protective. Smart girl, he murmurs. Tessa, no. Her father lunges. I forbid it. Roman moves faster than she's ever seen a man move. He doesn't shift. He doesn't need to. He simply catches her father's wrist in midair, twists it with a sickening crack, and shoves him back with enough force to send him sprawling into the pews. She made her choice, Roman snarls. His voice drops into an alpha command, a sound so powerful it vibrates the stained glass windows. Everyone in the room freezes instinctively. She is under my protection now. Anyone who follows us, anyone who touches her, dies. He doesn't wait for a response. He turns and pulls her out the door. The sunlight hits her face. Run, he says, and they run. Chapter 5. He leads her not to a horse or a carriage, but to a sleek black sports car parked right on the church lawn. It looks like a spaceship compared to the pickup trucks her pack drives. A McLaren. He opens the door for her. She bundles her massive dress inside, tearing the expensive tool on the doorframe. She doesn't care. Let it tear. He jumps in the driver's side. The engine roars to life, a deep guttural growl that matches the man driving it. They peel out of the parking lot, gravel spraying behind them, just as the church doors burst open and Liam's guards come pouring out. Roman shifts gears, his hand brushing her knee. Hold on. He floors it. The car shoots forward, pinning her to the leather seat. The acceleration steals her breath. They weave through the mountain roads at speeds that should be terrifying, but she feels strangely calm. She watches the trees blur past, the territory markers. They are crossing the border. She is leaving. She is really leaving. 10 minutes of silence pass. The adrenaline starts to fade, replaced by the cold, shaking reality of what she just did. She just left with the butcher. She has no money, no phone. She's wearing a ruined wedding dress, and she's heading into enemy territory with a man known for his ruthlessness. Are you going to kill me? She asks, staring out the window. Her voice sounds small. Roman glances at her. He looks almost amused. If I wanted to kill you, Tessa, I would have left you there to die of embarrassment. That seemed far more painful. She frowns. Why did you do it? I told you. I need a negotiator, a partner. You said you needed a queen, she corrects him. You said you needed a Luna. He tightens his grip on the steering wheel. His knuckles turn white. My pack. The Onyx pack. We are strong. We are rich. We have technology and weapons your father can only dream of. But we have a problem. What problem? She asks. We are feral, he says simply. He glances at her, his violet eyes serious. My men, they are good warriors, but they are losing their humanity. The curse on our bloodline is getting stronger. We are aggressive, territorial, and unstable. We need balance. He pauses. We need someone who remembers what it's like to be civil. Someone educated. Someone who can manage an empire without resorting to violence every 5 minutes. He glances at her again. I did my research on you, Tessa. Top of your class in business. Organized the pack's finances for 3 years without credit. You managed the trade deal with the Southern shifters when your father was too drunk to show up. She blinks. He knows. Nobody knows that. Her father always took credit for her work. You aren't just a pretty face, Roman says. You're the brains behind your father's operation, and he just threw you away. So, Roman continues, I have a proposition, a contract. A contract? Marry me, he says, taking a sharp turn. She chokes on air. Excuse me? Not for love, he adds quickly. For business. I need a Luna to stabilize the pack, to show the council that we are civilized. And you. He looks at her, his eyes gleaming. You need a home. You need protection. And let's be honest, Tessa. You want revenge. She opens her mouth to deny it, but the words die in her throat. Imagine, he says softly. Imagine the look on Liam's face when you return for the winter summit. Not as the rejected ex, but as the queen of the Onyx pack, draped in diamonds, commanding an army. Untouchable. The image flashes in her mind. Liam, bowing to her. Chloe, green with envy, realizing she stole the wrong life. Her father, realizing he bet on the wrong horse. It's petty. It's dangerous. It's perfect. What do I have to do? She asks. Roman smiles. It's a sharp, dangerous smile. Just wear my ring, run my house, and pretend, for 1 year, that you belong to me. Chapter 6. We drive for 2 hours. The landscape changes. The dense wild forests of her home give way to rocky cliffs and sweeping ocean views. They enter Onyx territory. She expects a dark, Gothic castle. She expects a dungeon. What she gets is something out of a magazine. They pull up to a massive iron gate. It scans the car and opens automatically. The driveway winds up a cliffside, and at the top, it's a fortress of glass and steel, modern, sharp, and breathtaking. It hangs over the ocean like a predator waiting to strike. This is your house? She asks. This is the penthouse, he says. The pack lives in the city below. I prefer the view. He parks the car. He gets out and comes around to open her door. He offers her his hand again. She takes it. As she steps out, the sea breeze hits her. It whips her veil around her face. She rips the veil off, pulling the pins from her hair, and lets the wind take it. It flutters away over the cliff, disappearing into the churning ocean below. Roman watches it go. "Good riddance," he mutters. He leads her to the front door. It unlocks with a fingerprint scanner. Inside, it is cool, clean, and silent. Minimalist furniture, expensive art, floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the sea. It smells like him: cedar, rain, and power. "You can take the master suite," he says, gesturing to a staircase that looks like it's floating on air. "Where will you sleep?" she asks. He pauses. "I don't sleep much," he replies darkly. He walks to a bar in the living room and pours himself a drink. Amber liquid. No ice. He downs it in one go. "There are clothes in the closet," he says, his back to her. "My sister's size. Should fit you. Get out of that dress. Burn it if you want." "Roman," she says. It's the first time she has used his name. He turns. He looks tired suddenly. The adrenaline has worn off for him too. "Thank you," she says, "for saving me." He stares at her for a long beat. The air between them crackles. It's not the fated mate pull she felt with Liam years ago. That blind, overwhelming instinct. It's something else. Something heavier. Attraction mixed with danger. "Don't thank me yet, Tessa," he says low. "You haven't read the contract, and you haven't met the rest of the pack. They aren't as polite as I am." "I can handle wolves," she says, lifting her chin. He walks over to her. He stops inches away. He reaches out and tucks a loose strand of hair behind her ear. His fingers brush her neck, right over her scent gland. Her breath hitches. "I hope so," he whispers, "because you are in the monster's den now, and I'm not sure I can let you leave." He turns and walks away, disappearing into his office. She's alone in the glass house. She looks at her reflection in the window. She sees a girl in a torn wedding dress, makeup smeared, eyes wild. But she doesn't look like a victim anymore. She looks like someone who just made a deal with the devil, and she plans to enjoy every minute of it. Chapter 7. Sunlight hits Tessa's face, hard and unforgiving. She wakes up in a bed that feels like a cloud, wrapped in sheets made of Egyptian cotton with a thread count higher than her credit score. For a moment, just a single, blissful moment, she forgets. Then she sees the ocean through the floor-to-ceiling windows, the endless expanse of gray water crashing against black rocks, and it all comes rushing back. The wedding, the rejection, the escape. She's in the Alpha King's bed. Tessa sits up, her heart hammering a frantic rhythm against her ribs. The room is empty, silent. She slides out of bed, her bare feet sinking into the plush carpet. She catches her reflection in the mirror across the room. She's wearing a silk shirt that smells like him. Cedar and rain, and it hangs off her frame, swallowing her whole. She looks small, fragile. "No," she whispers to her reflection, straightening her spine. "Not fragile, not anymore." She leaves the bedroom, wandering out into the hallway. The penthouse is massive, a labyrinth of glass and steel. It's beautiful, yes, but cold, impersonal. There are no photos on the walls, no knickknacks, no signs of life. It feels less like a home and more like a headquarters. She follows the scent of coffee down the floating staircase. On the kitchen island, a sleek slab of black marble, sits a single manila folder. A sticky note is attached to the front. Read it, then sign it. Beside the folder is a black credit card and a steaming mug of black coffee. Tessa picks up the folder. The label reads, "Mating Agreement, Alliance Protocols." She takes a sip of the coffee. It is bitter, strong, exactly how she likes it, and opens the file. It is a contract, a literal business contract for their marriage. She scans the pages. It is meticulous. Clause 1. The union shall remain valid for a period of exactly 12 months. Clause 2. The Luna shall have full authority over household staff and internal pack finances. Clause 3. The Alpha guarantees physical protection and sovereign immunity from the Miller pack. It's fair. Surprisingly fair. Roman is offering her millions in assets, stock options in his company, and complete safety in exchange for playing the role of his wife. She turns the page, and then she freezes. Clause 14, procreation. The text is standard legal jargon, but the meaning is clear. The production of an heir is not mandatory, but highly compensated. Should the Luna provide a viable offspring, the settlement amount will triple. Tessa slams the folder shut. Fury, hot and sudden, flares in her chest. He thinks he can buy her womb. He thinks she is just some broodmare to be negotiated over. She grabs the folder. She marches toward the double doors at the end of the hall. She doesn't knock. She throws the doors open. Roman is sitting behind a massive desk, surrounded by floating holographic screens. He's wearing a fresh suit, charcoal gray, looking infuriatingly perfect. He doesn't even look up. "You're awake," he says, his voice flat. "Did you sign it?" Tessa marches up to the desk and slams the folder down on top of his holographic keyboard. The screens flicker and die. Roman slowly looks up. His violet eyes are cool, amused. "I take it there is a problem with the terms?" "Clause 14, Tessa snaps. "Do you think I'm a prostitute or just a breeding stock?" Roman leans back in his chair. The leather creaks. He studies her, his gaze dropping to where the silk shirt gapes slightly at her collarbone, then snapping back to her eyes. "I think you are a pragmatist, Tessa. It is a standard clause in high-ranking mating contracts. Legacies matter." "Not to me," she hisses. "I left Liam because he treated me like a pawn. I won't let you treat me like an incubator." She leans over the desk, invading his space. "I will be your fake wife. I will fix your feral pack. I will balance your books and charm your investors. But my body..." She pokes him in the chest. A hard, angry jab. "My body is off limits, unless I say otherwise." The silence stretches. The air in the room grows heavy, charged with static. Roman stares at her finger pressing into his chest. Most people would lose a hand for touching the Alpha King like that. Slowly, a smile spreads across his face. Not the polite smile he wore at the church. This one is dark, hungry. "Done," he says. Tessa blinks. "What?" "I'll strike the clause," Roman says, picking up a pen. He opens the folder, finds the page, and violently crosses out the entire section with thick black ink. He looks up at her through his lashes. "I don't need to buy your desire, Tessa. When you come to my bed, it will be because you begged for it." Her breath hitches. Her face flames. "I hate you," she whispers. "Good," Roman replies, standing up. He towers over her. Hate is a strong emotion, much better than indifference. "Now, go get dressed. We have work to do." Chapter 8. "We aren't going to the mall, are we?" Tessa asks this from the passenger seat of the McLaren. Roman drives with one hand on the wheel. Relaxed. Dangerous. "The mall?" Roman snorts. "No, queens do not shop at the mall." They pull up to a nondescript building in the city center. No sign. Just a heavy steel door and a security camera. Inside, it is a sanctuary of velvet and light. A woman with silver hair and sharp eyes is waiting for them. "Alpha Pierce," she says, bowing her head, "and this must be the girl." "This is the Luna," Roman corrects her, his voice dropping an octave. "Treat her accordingly." The next 3 hours are a blur. Tessa expected frilly dresses. She expected Roman to dress her up like a doll, like Liam tried to do, putting her in pastels and lace to make her look soft. Submissive. But Roman does the opposite. He sits on a velvet couch, swirling a glass of whiskey, watching with hawk-like intensity as the stylist brings out racks of clothes. "No," Roman says, dismissing a floral sundress with a wave of his hand. "Too soft. She's not a flower." He stands up. He walks to the rack and pulls out a suit. It is black, tailored, sharp. He holds it up against Tessa. "This," he says. "A suit?" Tessa asks, touching the fabric. "It's silk and wool. Expensive." "Armor," Roman corrects. "My pack respects strength, Tessa. If you walk in there looking like a princess, they will eat you alive. You need to look like you own the place." He picks out heels that look like weapons, stilettos sharp enough to puncture a tire. He picks out dresses that are structural, elegant, and black. Everything is black, silver, or deep blood red, the colors of the Onyx Pack. When Tessa steps out of the dressing room in a fitted black sheath dress with a silver belt that looks like a sword hilt, Roman goes still. He sets his drink down. He walks over to her. He circles her slowly, like a wolf inspecting a new territory. "Perfect," he murmurs. He reaches into his jacket pocket and pulls out a box. Inside is a choker, a thick band of black diamonds set in white gold. In the center, a large onyx stone throbs with a faint magical pulse. "The Luna's collar," he says. Tessa stiffens. "I am not a dog, Roman." "It's not a leash," he says softly. He steps behind her. She feels the cold metal against her throat as he fastens the clasp. It is a warning to everyone else. He leans down, his breath ghosting over her ear. "It tells every wolf in this city that if they touch you, they answer to me." Tessa looks in the mirror. The girl in the white wedding dress is gone. The woman staring back looks dangerous. She looks powerful. She looks like she could burn a kingdom to the ground. She touches the necklace. "It's heavy," she whispers. "The crown always is," Roman replies. He offers her his arm. "Ready to meet your subjects?" Chapter 9. The Onyx Pack headquarters is not a cozy lodge in the woods. It is the top 10 floors of a skyscraper in the financial district. It is a corporate empire run by wolves. The elevator ride up is silent. Tessa can feel Roman's tension radiating off him in waves. "They will test you," he says, staring at the digital numbers climbing. "My pack, they are aggressive. They smell weakness." "I'm not weak," Tessa says, smoothing her skirt. "I know." Roman looks at her, but they don't. The elevator doors slide open. The noise hits them first, a chaotic din of shouting, phones ringing, and low growls. The main floor is an open-plan office, but it feels more like a war room. Dozens of shifters are moving around, arguing, trading stocks, and managing territory disputes. When Roman steps out, the room goes silent. Instantly, every head turns, every neck bares in submission. "Alpha," they chorus, a low rumble of respect. Then, they look at her. The silence changes. It becomes sharp, judging. Tessa can smell their skepticism. Human? No. Wolfless. Weak. Outsider. A woman steps forward. She is tall, blonde, and built like a Valkyrie. Her eyes are cold steel. "Alpha," she says, her voice dripping with skepticism. "You returned early, and you brought a guest." "This is not a guest, Vera," Roman says, his voice filling the room. "This is Tessa, my mate, and your Luna." Gasps, whispers. Vera laughs. It is a harsh, barking sound. "Your mate?" She circles them, sniffing the air loudly. "She smells like nothing. She has no wolf. You expect us to bow to a cripple?" Roman growls. It is a terrifying sound that shakes the glass walls. He steps forward, ready to tear her throat out. "Vera," he warns. "No," Tessa says. She steps in front of Roman. She puts a hand on his chest to stop him. His heart is hammering against her palm. "I can handle this," she whispers to him. She turns to Vera. The woman is towering over her, smirking. She thinks she has won. She thinks physical strength is the only currency here. "You're Vera?" Tessa asks calmly. "The pack beta in charge of finances?" "I am," she sneers, "and I don't take orders from—" "Then why are the quarterly reports for the northern mining sector showing a 15% deficit?" Tessa interrupts her. Her voice is clear, steady. Vera blinks. "What?" Tessa walks over to the nearest desk. She picks up a stack of papers she saw Vera holding earlier. She flips through them. "I saw the files on Roman's desk this morning." She lies smoothly. "The numbers don't add up, Vera. You're bleeding money in the logistics department. Either you are incompetent—" She looks up at the beta, arching a brow. "Or you are stealing." The room goes dead silent. Vera's face drains of color. The market has been—" "The market is up," Tessa snaps. "I checked the indexes this morning. You are skimming off the top to pay for— what? Gambling debts? Or are you paying off the Southern Pack to keep quiet about your border breaches?" Vera takes a step back. Her scent sours with fear. Tessa didn't know for sure. It was a gamble. But Vera's reaction tells her everything. She tosses the file onto the desk. It lands with a heavy thud. I am not here to fight you for a bone in the yard, Vera, Tessa says, pitching her voice so every wolf in the room can hear. I am here to make sure this pack doesn't bankrupt itself because its beta can't do basic math. She turns to Roman. He is staring at her. His mouth is slightly open. His violet eyes are blazing. Not with anger, but with absolute unadulterated pride. Does anyone else have a problem with me? Tessa asks the room. Silence. Then, slowly, the wolves begin to bow their heads, not to Roman, to her. Roman steps up behind her. He wraps an arm around her waist, pulling her back against his solid chest. He leans down, his lips brushing her ear. Remind me, he whispers darkly, never to get on your bad side. Tessa leans back into him, her heart finally slowing down. Too late, she whispers back. You're already married to me. Chapter 10. The victory at the office feels like a lifetime ago. It is 3 a.m. The penthouse is dark. Outside, a storm is raging over the ocean, rain lashing against the glass walls. Tessa is awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if she made a mistake. Today felt real. The way Roman looked at her, the way they moved together, it felt like a partnership. But then they came home, and he went to his room, and she went to hers. The wall came back up. Suddenly, a scream shatters the silence. It is raw, terrified. It's Roman. Tessa jumps out of bed. She doesn't think. She just runs. She sprints down the hall to the master suite. The door is unlocked. She bursts in. Roman! The room is in chaos. The sheets are torn. A lamp is smashed on the floor. Roman is thrashing in the bed, fighting an invisible enemy. His body is slick with sweat. His claws are out, shredding the mattress. No! He shouts, his voice cracking. Don't take him. Take me, take me. He's having a nightmare, a night terror. Tessa rushes to the side of the bed. Roman, wake up. It's a dream. She reaches out to touch his shoulder. In a flash of movement, he lunges. His hand clamps around her throat. He pins her to the mattress. He is snarling. His eyes are glowing violet, but they are unseeing. He doesn't know who she is. He thinks she is the enemy. Roman, she chokes out, clawing at his hand. It's me. It's Tessa. For a second, she thinks he's going to kill her. The pressure on her windpipe increases. Then, he blinks. The glow fades from his eyes. Recognition floods in, followed immediately by horror. He releases her as if she's on fire. He scrambles back, falling off the bed onto the floor. Tessa, he gasps. Oh my God, Tessa. She sits up, coughing, rubbing her throat. I'm okay, she wheezes. I'm okay. Get out, he growls from the floor. He's huddled in the corner, shaking. Get out of here, I could have killed you. You were dreaming, she says softly. She slides off the bed. She moves toward him. Stay back, he warns. I'm dangerous, Tessa. The curse. It makes me violent. It feeds on the trauma. I can't control it when I sleep. She ignores him. She walks right up to him. He looks broken. The big, scary alpha king, reduced to a shivering boy in the dark. She kneels in front of him. You didn't hurt me, she says. She reaches out and takes his hand. His claws are still extended, sharp as razors. She places her hand over them. Look, she says. You stopped. You recognized me. He looks at their hands. He's breathing hard, trying to pull himself back together. Why do you stay? He whispers. Why don't you run? Because I'm your wife, she says, even if it's fake, and I don't run from a fight. He looks at her then, and the look in his eyes. It's devastating. It is a mixture of longing and despair that hits her right in the chest. Can you... He hesitates. Can you stay? Just until I fall back asleep? He looks terrified of the dark. Okay, she says. I'll stay. They climb back into the ruined bed. They don't touch. He lies on his side, facing away from her. She lies on hers. But after a few minutes, she feels him shift. His hand reaches out across the space between them. He grabs a fistful of her shirt, just holding on, anchoring himself. And for the first time since she arrived, the monster sleeps peacefully. Chapter 11. 3 weeks have passed since the nightmare. 3 weeks of quiet breakfasts, shared glances across the office, and nights spent sleeping in the same bed. separated by a few inches of cold sheet that feel like miles. They haven't spoken about it. They haven't spoken about the way Roman reaches for her in his sleep, or the way Tessa wakes up with her head resting on his chest, listening to the slow, powerful thrum of his heart. It is a fragile piece, a bubble. And tonight, it bursts. Tessa's in the library, organizing the PAC's trade agreements for the upcoming summit. Her phone buzzes against the mahogany desk. She glances at the screen. The number is unsaved, but she knows it. She deleted it. But her fingers remember the pattern. It's Liam. She stares at the phone. It buzzes again, and again, like a mosquito that won't go away. She shouldn't answer. She knows she shouldn't. But curiosity, cold and sharp, gets the better of her. She slides the green icon. Hello? Tessa? Liam's voice sounds wrecked, hoarse, like he hasn't slept in days. Oh, goddess, Tessa, I didn't think you'd pick up. What do you want, Liam? Her voice is steady, steadier than his. I made a mistake. Tessa freezes. She grips the phone tighter. Excuse me? The bond, Liam rushes on, words tumbling out. The true mate bond. They say it's supposed to be bliss, Tessa. They say it's supposed to complete you. But it's suffocating. He lowers his voice to a whisper. Chloe, she isn't you. She doesn't understand me. She doesn't know how to run the PAC. She just wants the parties and the title. The PAC is suffering. I am suffering. Tessa listens, and she waits for the anger to come. She waits for the heartbreak, but it doesn't come. Instead, she feels nothing. Just a dull, distant pity. You chose her, Liam, she says calmly. You humiliated me in front of everyone we know to choose her. I was blinded, he pleads. It was the biological pull. It wasn't love. I know that now. Tessa, please, if you came back, if we talked to the elders, maybe we could challenge the bond. I miss you. I miss us. Tessa looks up, through the glass walls of the library. She sees Roman. He is standing on the balcony, staring out at the ocean. The wind is whipping his dark hair. He looks lonely. He looks powerful. He looks like a king who is waiting for his queen. There is no us, Liam, Tessa says softly. There never really was. I was just convenient for you, and now I'm gone. Tessa, wait. Don't call me again, she says. My husband wouldn't like it. She hangs up. She feels light, as if a heavy weight has finally been lifted off her shoulders. She turns around, ready to go find Roman, ready to tell him that she doesn't care about Liam anymore, that she's ready to make this fake marriage real. But when she turns, Roman is standing in the doorway, and he doesn't look happy. His eyes are glowing violet. His claws are digging into the doorframe, splintering the wood. He heard everything. Chapter 12. Roman, Tessa breathes, taking a step back. The air in the room drops 10 degrees. You spoke to him, Roman growls. It's not a question, it's an accusation. He called me, Tessa says quickly. I didn't. He wants you back. Roman steps into the room. He moves like a predator, stalking his prey. He wants to challenge the bond. He wants to take you away. It doesn't matter what he wants, Tessa insists, backing up until her hips hit the desk. I told him no. Did you? Roman stops inches from her. He towers over her, his scent overwhelming, burnt wood and ozone, the scent of a storm about to break. You told him you're married, a contract, a piece of paper. He slams his hand against the desk beside her hip, caging her in. Do you want to go back to him, Tessa? Do you want to go back to the boy who threw you away? No, Tessa shouts, her own temper flaring. Why won't you listen to me? Because I smell your regret, Roman roars. I smell your history with him. I smell the 10 years you spent loving him while I was rotting alone in this castle. His face twists with raw, naked pain. I can give you the world, Tessa. I can give you an empire, but I can't give you that. I can't be the boy you grew up with. He pulls back, turning away from her. Go, he says, his voice breaking. If you want to go, then go. Break the contract. I won't stop you. He thinks she wants to leave. He thinks he isn't enough. Tessa stares at his broad back. at the tension in his shoulders. And something inside her snaps. She doesn't run away. She runs at him. She grabs his arm and spins him around. "You idiot!" she yells. Roman blinks, stunned. "What?" "I don't want the boy I grew up with," Tessa shouts, poking him hard in the chest. "He was weak. He was selfish. He let me go." She steps closer, grabbing the lapels of his jacket. "I don't want a boy, Roman. I want a man. I want the man who saved me. I want the man who respects me. I want the man who holds me when he has nightmares because he trusts me." Roman stares down at her. The violet glow in his eyes flickers, softening into something molten. "Tessa," he warns, his voice a low rumble. "Be careful." "Why?" she challenges him, tilting her chin up. "Are you going to bite me?" His gaze drops to her lips, then to her neck. "I might," he rasps. "Then do it," she whispers. The restraint snaps. Roman groans, a guttural sound torn from his throat. He wraps his arm around her waist and hauls her against him, lifting her off her feet. His mouth crashes onto hers. It is not a gentle kiss. It is not sweet. It is a collision. It is hunger and desperation, and weeks of pent-up longing exploding all at once. Tessa gasps, opening for him, and he deepens the kiss, his tongue sweeping into her mouth, claiming her. It feels like fire. It feels like drowning. She wraps her legs around his waist, burying her hands in his hair. He tastes like whiskey and danger. He walks her backward, pinning her against the bookshelves. Books tumble to the floor, forgotten. "Mine," he growls against her lips. "Say it." "Yours," she gasps. "I'm yours, Roman." He kisses her jaw, her throat, biting lightly at the sensitive skin where a mating mark should be. "I should claim you right now," he whispers, his breath hot on her skin. "I should bite you and bind you to me so deep that you'll never even remember his name." Tessa's head falls back. "Do it." He hesitates. His fangs graze her skin, sharp, dangerous. Then he pulls back. He rests his forehead against hers, panting, his eyes squeezed shut. "Not like this," he says, his voice ragged. Not in anger, not to prove a point to him. He sets her down gently. His hands are shaking. "When I claim you, Tessa, it will be because you love me, not because you hate him." He steps back, putting distance between them. He looks wrecked, beautiful and wrecked. "Get ready," he says, adjusting his jacket, trying to regain his composure. "We leave for the summit in an hour, and you need to look like a queen." Chapter 13. The Winter Summit is the event of the decade, held in the neutral territory of the High Council's Grand Hall. It is where every alpha from every pack gathers to discuss treaties, trade, and territory. But tonight, everyone knows the real reason they are watching. They are watching for the Miller pack, and they are watching for the Butcher. The hall is a sea of velvet and silk, glittering jewels and sharp teeth. At the far end, Tessa sees her father holding court, looking smug. Beside him stands Liam, looking miserable, and Chloe, who is preening in a gold dress that costs more than the pack's education budget. "They are waiting for us," Roman murmurs. They are standing at the top of the grand staircase. Roman is wearing a tuxedo that fits him like a second skin, black on black. He looks lethal, but he isn't the one they will be looking at. Tessa is wearing the dress Roman chose. It is black velvet, strapless, with a slit that goes up to her thigh. It hugs every curve, every line of her body. Around her neck sits the onyx collar, the black diamonds glittering under the chandelier lights. She doesn't look like the girl who ran away crying. She looks like the villain of the story, and she loves it. "Are you ready?" Roman asks, offering her his arm. She takes it. She feels the solid muscle beneath the cloth. She remembers the way he kissed her in the library, the heat, the possession. "I was born ready," she replies. The doors swing open. The herald announces them. Alpha King Roman Pierce of the Onyx Pack, and his Luna, Tessa Pierce. We step out. The room goes silent. You could hear a pin drop. They descend the stairs. Every eye is on them. Tessa sees the shock on the faces of her old pack members. She sees the jealousy in the eyes of the women who wanted Roman, but mostly, she sees them. Her father's jaw drops. His glass tilts in his hand, spilling wine onto the floor. Chloe stops smiling. She looks at Tessa's dress, then at her own, and realizes she looks like a child playing dress-up next to a woman. And Liam looks like he's seen a ghost. He takes a step forward, as if drawn by a string. "Tessa?" he mouths. Roman tightens his grip on her arm. He leans in, just close enough for everyone to see the intimacy. "Head high, my love," he whispers, loud enough for the front row to hear. Let them see what they threw away. They reach the bottom of the stairs. The crowd parts like the Red Sea. They walk straight toward the center of the room, toward her father. It is time for the reunion. Chapter 14. "Father," Tessa says coolly. Alpha Miller sputters. He looks at Roman, then at her. He tries to summon his alpha command, but in the presence of Roman, a king, he just looks like an angry middle manager. "Tessa," he grits out. You look expensive," she suggests with a smile. "Powerful? Happy?" "You look like a traitor," Chloe snaps, stepping forward. "You ran off with our enemy." Roman laughs. It's a dry, dismissive sound. "Enemy?" he asks. "I am your largest trade partner, little girl. Or I was, until your father decided to insult me by offering me subpar timber contracts." He looks at Alpha Miller. "We'll be renegotiating those, by the way. My Luna has pointed out several inconsistencies in your ledger." Her father pales. He knows Tessa knows where the bodies are buried, literally and figuratively. "Tessa," Liam interrupts. He pushes past Chloe. He looks at her with those puppy dog eyes that used to make her melt. Now, they just look pathetic. "Tessa, can we talk? Privately?" He reaches for her hand. Before he can touch her, a low growl vibrates through the room. It doesn't come from Roman. It comes from Tessa. It's quiet, guttural, and shocking. She didn't even know she could make that sound. Liam freezes, his hand hovering in midair. "Do not touch me," she says. Her voice is calm, but her eyes, she can feel them flashing. "You lost the right to touch me the moment you chose her." "But the bond," Liam stammers. "It was a mistake. The bond is a choice, Liam." She cuts him off. "And you made yours. Now live with it." She turns to Roman. "I'd like a drink, darling." "Of course," Roman says, smirking at Liam. "Wait here." Roman steps away to the bar. The moment he is gone, the sharks circle. Her father steps closer. His face is red. "You ungrateful little," he hisses. "You think playing house with that monster makes you safe? He will tire of you. He will discard you. And when he does, don't come crawling back to us." "I wouldn't dream of it," Tessa says. "I don't need you anymore, father. I have my own pack now." "You have nothing," Chloe spits. She grabs a glass of red wine from a passing waiter. "You are just a wolfless, barren placeholder." She throws the wine. It's meant to ruin Tessa's dress. It's meant to humiliate her again. But Tessa has spent the last month living with a man who has reflexes faster than light. She has learned to pay attention. She catches Chloe's wrist in midair. The wine sloshes over the rim, splashing onto Chloe's gold dress. Chloe shrieks. Tessa twists her wrist, forcing her to drop the glass. It shatters on the floor. "I am not your doormat anymore, sister," she whispers, leaning into her face. "And if you ever try to embarrass me again, I will take more than just your pride. I will take your title." She shoves Chloe back. Chloe stumbles into Liam, who has to catch her. The crowd is watching. They are whispering, but they aren't laughing at Tessa this time. They are looking at her with fear and respect. She smooths her dress. She looks up to find Roman returning with 2 glasses of champagne. He saw the whole thing. His eyes are glowing so bright they look like purple stars. He hands her a glass. He clinks it against hers. "To family," he says, his voice thick with pride. "To family," Tessa agrees, taking a sip. But the night isn't over, and across the room, Tessa sees Liam staring at them. He isn't looking at Chloe. He isn't looking at her father. He's looking at Roman, and his eyes are filled with a dark, desperate jealousy that is about to turn violent. "Dance with me," Roman says, pulling her onto the floor. He's watching us, she warns him. Good. Roman spins her around. Let him watch. Let him see exactly what belongs to me. Chapter 15. The music swells. A waltz that feels more like a battle march. Tessa dances with Roman. She feels the eyes of the entire room on them, heavy with envy and judgment. But she only cares about one pair of eyes. Liam's. He is watching them from the edge of the dance floor. He is drinking heavily. His eyes are bloodshot, fixed on Roman's hand where it rests possessively on Tessa's waist. I need some air, Tessa whispers to Roman after the third dance. The heat of the room, the weight of the stairs, it is becoming suffocating. Roman frowns. I'll come with you. No, she says, placing a hand on his chest. You need to finish talking to the Southern Alpha about the trade route. I'll just be on the terrace. I'm safe here. It's neutral territory. Roman hesitates. His violet eyes search hers. Finally, he nods. 5 minutes. He says, then I'm coming to get you. Tessa slips away through the French doors onto the stone terrace. The night air is crisp, biting. It clears her head. She walks to the stone railing, looking out over the dark gardens. She takes a deep breath, trying to calm her racing heart. You look beautiful, Tessa. She freezes. She knows that voice. She used to love that voice. Now, it makes her skin crawl. She turns. Liam stands in the shadows. He looks disheveled. His tie is crooked. He smells of sour wine and desperation. Liam, she says coldly, go back to your mate. She's not my mate. Liam spits. He stumbles forward. Not really. It's a trick. A biological trick. You were my choice, Tessa. We were supposed to rule together. You made your choice, Tessa says, backing away until her spine hits the stone railing. You chose her scent over my love. You chose a feeling over a lifetime of loyalty. I can fix it, Liam says. His eyes are wild. If I reject her, if you leave him, we can fix it. He reaches for her. Don't touch me, Tessa warns. You belong to me, Liam shouts. And then he does the unthinkable. He uses the alpha command. Submit, he roars. The power in his voice ripples through the air. A physical force meant to force a wolf to their knees. Tessa braces herself. She waits for her knees to buckle. She waits for the instinct to obey to crush her. But nothing happens. She stands tall. She stares at him. The command washes over her like water off a duck's back. It didn't work, she whispers, realizing the truth. An alpha command only works on those weaker than the alpha, or those who belong to his pack. She doesn't belong to the Miller pack anymore, and she belongs to a king. Liam blinks, stunned. How? I told you, Tessa says, her voice ringing with newfound power. I am not yours. I belong to Roman Pierce. Liam's face twists into ugly rage. Then I'll take you back. He lunges. He grabs her wrist, yanking her toward him. No, Tessa screams. She raises her hand to strike him, but she doesn't have to. A roar shakes the very foundations of the building. The glass doors to the ballroom shatter outward, and a shadow, massive, dark, and terrifying, erupts onto the terrace. Chapter 16. It happens in the blink of an eye. One moment, Liam is holding her wrist. The next, he is flying backward, thrown across the terrace like a rag doll. He smashes into a stone pillar and crumbles to the ground. Standing between them is Roman, but it isn't the Roman she knows. His suit jacket is gone. His shirt is shredded. Bones crack. Muscles swell. He falls to his hands and knees, growling in agony and rage. Fur bursts from his skin, black as obsidian. His snout elongates. His teeth lengthen into daggers. Tessa watches in awe and terror as he shifts. This isn't a normal wolf. This is a monster. He is huge, standing nearly as tall as a horse at the shoulder. His fur absorbs the moonlight, and his eyes are glowing violet stars. The monster turns to Liam. Liam is scrambling backward, blood running down his face. Roman, wait, it's not what it looks like. The black wolf doesn't listen. He snarls, a sound that vibrates in Tessa's bones. He stalks toward Liam. He is going to kill him. Tessa knows it. The council knows it. The crowd gathering at the shattered doors screams in terror. "Roman!" Her father yells from the doorway. "Stop! That is my heir!" The wolf ignores him. He lunges. He pins Liam to the ground. His massive jaws open, hovering inches from Liam's throat. Liam is sobbing. "Please, please." The wolf prepares to strike, to tear his throat out, to start a war that will destroy everything. Chapter 17. Roman, no. Tessa moves without thinking. She doesn't run away from the monster. She runs to him. She throws herself between the wolf and Liam. She wraps her arms around the wolf's massive, heaving neck. "Stop," she cries, burying her face in his thick black fur. "Don't do it. He isn't worth it." The wolf freezes. He growls, a low, rumbling vibration against her chest. He tries to shake her off. He wants blood. "Look at me," Tessa commands. She pulls back, grabbing the fur on either side of his face. She forces him to look at her. "Look at me, Roman." The violet eyes lock onto hers. They are wild, feral, lost to the rage. But as she stares into them, something happens. A snap, louder than a gunshot. It echoes inside her head. It echoes inside his. A golden thread of light seems to explode between them, tying her soul to his. It's not the faint attraction she felt before. It is an avalanche. It is a tsunami. It is the bond, the true mate bond. She feels his rage, his protectiveness, his overwhelming, terrified love. And he feels hers. He feels that she isn't scared of him. He feels that she chose him, not for safety, not for revenge, but because she loves him. The wolf shudders. He whines, a high, keen sound. He lowers his massive head and rests it gently against her shoulder. He submits, not to an alpha, but to his mate. "It's okay," she whispers, stroking his fur. "I'm safe. I'm here." The crowd watches in stunned silence. The butcher, the monster of the Onyx Pack, tamed by the girl who was rejected for being weak. Chapter 18. 2 hours later. They are back at the glass fortress. The drive home was silent, but the air was thick with the new bond. Roman is in human form again, wearing a pair of sweatpants, sitting on the edge of the bed. He won't look at her. He looks ashamed. "You knew," Tessa says softly. She is standing by the window, watching the ocean. "You knew we were fated." Roman sighs. He puts his head in his hands. "I felt it the moment I walked into that church," he admits. His voice is rough. "It hit me like a physical blow. I smelled you, vanilla and rain, and my wolf went insane. He wanted to kill everyone in that room and drag you back to my cave." "Why didn't you tell me?" Tessa asks. She walks over to him. "Because you were broken," Roman says, looking up. His eyes are tortured. "You were crying over another man. You loved him. If I had told you, 'Oh, by the way, you belong to me now,' you would have hated me. You would have felt trapped." He reaches out, his fingers grazing her hand. "I didn't want you because fate said so, Tessa. I wanted you to choose me. I wanted you to fall in love with the man, not the bond." Tessa stares at him. This powerful, terrifying man. Waited. He waited and played a role and signed a contract, just to give her the agency she had lost. She climbs onto his lap. She wraps her legs around his waist and cups his face. "I did choose you," she whispers. "I chose you before the bond snapped. I chose you in the library. I chose you when you bought me a suit of armor." Roman's hands grip her waist. "I love you," he says. "I have loved you since the moment I saw you standing in that church, looking like a tragedy waiting to happen." "I love you too," she says, "and I think you should claim me properly now." His eyes darken. The violet flare returns, but this time, it's full of passion. "With pleasure, my queen." He kisses her, and as he sinks his teeth into the claiming spot on her neck, sealing their bond forever. Tessa knows one thing for sure. Getting dumped at the altar was the best thing that ever happened to her. Chapter 19. The next morning, Tessa walks into her office at the Onyx headquarters. She is wearing a high-necked black dress that covers the fresh mating mark on her neck, but everyone knows it's there. They can smell it. The scent of the Alpha King is all over her. She sits at her desk and picks up the phone. "Connect me to Alpha Miller," she says. A moment later, her father's voice comes on the line. He sounds tired, defeated. "Tessa?" "Hello, Father." "Tessa, about last night. Liam is in the hospital. His ribs are broken." "He'll heal," she says without an ounce of sympathy. Wolves always do. "Tessa, please, we need to talk about the timber contracts." With the alliance shaky. "There are no timber contracts," Tessa interrupts. "What?" "I am canceling them, all of them. The Onyx Pack will no longer be doing business with the Miller Pack." "You can't do that," her father shouts. "That will bankrupt us. We rely on your distribution channels." "I know," Tessa says calmly. "I wrote the budget, remember?" "Tessa, you are destroying your own family." "My family," she says, looking at the photo of Roman she has placed on her desk, "is here. You made it very clear that I was just an asset to you." "Well, assets can be liquidated." She pauses. "Oh, and Father, tell Chloe she can keep the title of future Alpha. She can inherit the debt, too." She hangs up the phone. She leans back in her chair and smiles. It is done. Epilogue, a year later. The glass house is warm. Sunlight streams in through the open windows, carrying the scent of the ocean and the wild flowers Tessa has planted on the cliffs. Roman enters the room. He looks different, lighter. The shadows under his eyes are gone. He walks over to where Tessa is sitting on the sofa, reading a book. He kisses the top of her head. Then, he kneels down. He places a large hand on her swollen belly. "Hi there," he whispers to the baby growing inside her. "Are you being good for your mom today?" The baby kicks against his hand. Roman's face lights up with pure, unadulterated joy. "Strong," he says, grinning at Tessa, "just like her mother." Tessa runs her fingers through his hair. "Have you heard from them?" she asks. Roman nods. He knows who she means. "Your father stepped down. The pack was failing. The council voted him out. Liam tried to take over, but he's weak. The pack dispersed. Most of them have petitioned to join us." "And Chloe?" "She left him," Roman says. "Apparently, a fated bond isn't enough when you're broke and living in a trailer." Tessa laughs. It is a happy sound. She looks out at the ocean. She thinks of the girl in the white dress, crying in the church vestibule. She feels a pang of sympathy for her. But no regret, because that girl had to break so this woman could be built. "Are you happy?" Roman asks, watching her face. Tessa looks down at him, at her mate, at her king. "I have everything I ever wanted," she says, "and I didn't even have to wish for it." Roman leans up and kisses her. The monster is tamed. The queen has her crown, and they lived happily ever after. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed this journey of revenge and romance, please hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel. And let me know in the comments. What would you do if your ex called you back after dumping you at the altar? See you in the next story. Love, Amy.